Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from my home at the Siege of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Today is the 11th of November, so it's the 11/11 portal. And I think it was last year, or maybe it was 2020. I wanted to do a series of readings on all of the double-digit days, like January 1st, February 2nd, March 3rd, right? May 5th, et cetera, et cetera. And I never really got that together. But as many of you who know me know that, part of the reason for that was I was taking care of my elderly mother, who is now gratefully and lovingly being taken care of by a wonderful group of people in a nursing home not too far from my house. Of course, she is 101 now and working on 102. So there does come a time when a single person can no longer take care of somebody. So that attempt was somewhat of a failure. I think I did one thing on 1010 or something. I don't know. Anyway. And so now it's 11/11, and I'm going to try that again. So there's a lot to talk about. We had that powerful new moon in Scorpio, opposite Uranus. Now, of course, new moons start things, so that new moon is starting a process that will come to fruition on the 19th of November, when we have the full moon in Taurus. And that is an eclipse. That is an eclipse. And then we have another eclipse in 2 weeks, December 4th. And that is in Sagittarius, new moon in Sagittarius. So big, and because the new moon opposite Uranus was sort of pre-eclipse, and the actual eclipse season starts with the full moon of that new moon. I feel like that full moon, the potential and the energy of that new moon will be felt while the eclipses are actually in influence, when the eclipses have influence. And I believe, and I should know this, so I apologize for not knowing this, I think I read that this lunar eclipse is one of the longest lunar eclipses within a certain period of time, whether it's a decade or 100 years or whatever, but it's a very long eclipse. And that also has significance in how long the eclipse is in the system. That being said, I want to point out that the eclipses that are happening on the 19th of November and the 4th of December are south node eclipses, meaning that the sun is near the south node of the moon, and the south node of the moon is in Sagittarius. And of course, we know that the south node of the moon is where we have been releasing things, right? Releasing, letting go of beliefs that no longer serve, having our beliefs tested. But also the south node helps us to bring forth talents and abilities from previous lifetimes to help to deal with whatever it is that the north node is asking us to do. And the north node is asking us to gather the information and communicate. But because Gemini, where the north node is the sign associated with duality, what we come to understand through this period is just the different sides of the issue. And because we're in a time of extremes, with Uranus squaring Saturn, with the Pluto, Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, and then Saturn, Jupiter conjunctions of 2020. Previous to that, the 7 squares between Pluto and Uranus. We are really just in this huge shift and this huge, my girlfriend always makes fun of me the way I say that, but I'm from New Jersey, so, and she's not, so she doesn't understand. She's actually in Italy right now, lucky duck. This would be her first trip to Italy, and they're starting in Florence. What a beautiful city to be in. She's just going to fall in love. I know. Anyway, I'm getting off subject. We are letting go first, and then we are building back. I don't know if we're building back better, but we're going to have to build back different. In January, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. In January, the nodes of the moon will shift. The north node in Taurus and the south node in Scorpio. Taurus is about life. Scorpio is about death. Taurus is about our essential needs. And Scorpio is what we put ourselves in debt for. We have a good year and a half, 18 months, 19 months with that north node in Taurus. Taurus rules money. Taurus rules resources. Taurus rules food. So we are in for a challenging time for sure. And of course, we can't forget that during this next year coming up, while the North Node is in Taurus, and eventually will make conjunctions to Uranus, right? Because Uranus is in Taurus. We're going through a Pluto return in the United States. The great experiment in democracy. Democracy is about getting your voice heard, your side of the thing, but then coming to a consensus, coming to an agreement, right? Well, if you have a government that does not, if you don't have a government that does not represent you, there are people poor. Do the poor feel like they're being represented? No. Does the working class think they're being represented? No. Do the truly conservatives think they're being represented? No. Who is being represented? Well, there's dark money. There's corporations that don't really care about the people. We're just consumers. And if you are a consumer and you're not able to consume, somebody will take your place and you can just go recycle. So you can be born into a time when you can become a consumer again. It's not a dog eat dog world. It's the top eating the bottom. Using us for cannon fodder. It's an old story. It's an old story, people. And we are in the process of letting the old story go bye-bye and facing the possibility of a new story, of a new beginning. How exciting is that? How exciting is that? There's a lot to do. I think that these things that I just said are part of the message for this 1111 portal. I'm going to use a bunch of different cards. And the first one I want to start with is a deck of cards that my friend Kerry created for her daughter. to help her with issues that she was having. Her daughter is, think, I think 18. When she did these cards, she was either 17 or 18. I think she's 19 now. Born right a few days after 9/11. A few days after 9/11. Those children, the children born after 9/11 have a different, from my experience, have a different energy. They're much more nervous. They're much more easily triggered. They're much more waiting for the other shoe to drop. And you can't blame them, because the only thing they've really known when they look outside their window is war and getting shot at in school. So I want to just pick a card from this deck, and it's all sayings. And this is going to be our message for the 1111 portal using this deck. Okay. Wow, this is interesting. It says, I'll just read it to you. Well, this is what it looks like. That's the back and that's the front. And it says, is it love, a desire for control, or obsession? Question mark. Let's see. Let's pick another. Is it love, or is it a desire for control? Oh, that kind of makes sense. That makes sense. What kind of life do you want to live? Do you want to live in love? Do you want to live controlled, or do you want to be controlled by something else, right? Because control is something outside of you in control over you. And obsession is something that's outside of you that you're obsessed to possess, that you don't feel like you have inside of you. Yet everything is inside of you. Everything is there. God, goddess, all that is both, is within us. The search for meaning is within us. All the answers are within us if we know how to access it. And we access it through love, not romantic love, not infatuation, but deep, open-hearted connection, to feel what others feel and to stand in compassion with them. Compassion is a very vulnerable place to put yourself. And yet it's the strongest place you can stand. That's enough. I think that was a good message from the Blue Sky Oracle. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this often now. It was a gift she gave me. She gave me the gift of it. She published it herself, so like she didn't do it for a bunch of people, so it's expensive to do it this way. But I don't know. Maybe she got a bunch of orders. She might be able to do it a little cheaper. Okay, so she also has a podcast called Serenity Wayward. Serenity Wayward. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm going to be using the Crow Tarot because I just bought it. It's my newest tarot deck. And I don't know, I'm not sure I want to use that. I'll use the Crow Tarot. I'm going to use it. I also thought we could take a look at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I was watching Marianne. I'm Anna Maria. That was my name at birth, Anna Maria. But when I got adopted, it was changed to Victoria. I love them both. But I was listening to Marianne from Revealing Light, and she did a reading on the Gosar Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez incident with the anime and all this other stuff. So she so I want to look at that too today. So I'm doing a little like I'm kind of copying what were the things that she looked at. So the question is, so first card, 1111 portal, the Ace of Cups. Is it love? Is it control? Or is it obsession? It's love. So the energy in the present moment of this 1111 portal is one of unconditional, ever-flowing from spirit love. The divine loves us. And when we love ourselves, we access the divine love. And we become part or more imbued with that energy. And as we become imbued with that energy, we are more and more powerful. And this is not power over, this isn't I have dominion over you. No, this is true power. The power of love conquers all fear. What's crossing it is the 9 of Wands. There are still some battles that need to be fought. It's been a hard slog. It has, people. It has been hard. But there is still a little bit more that we have to do. And that's what this reading is telling me. The challenge is that we still have a ways to go. We still have at least one battle to continue. And then at the root is the Fool. The Fool is about a whole new beginning. This is Uranus. The Fool card is connected to the planet Uranus. And Uranus was exactly opposite that new moon in Scorpio. We are going to have to let go. And if we don't do it voluntarily, Uranus comes in and kicks our butt. In the past, the 10 of Swords, the end of something and the beginning of something new. Something has ended. Something has ended. Previous to today. In the sky, the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune. Jupiter, this is a Jupiter card. Jupiter is in Aquarius. For the upcoming full moon in Taurus, lunar eclipse, Jupiter is square that axis in Aquarius. The resolution, well, no, it's not the node. So Jupiter in Aquarius is generosity towards everyone, like towards no matter, right? The equality, the humanitarianism. But there's a change of fortune here. Those at the bottom will begin to move up. Those at the top will begin to move down. So there is a shift. There is a shift. And this is, the old is done. The old is gone. We will never have what we had again. A lot of what we had wasn't doing us any good. and was causing us more and more problems. It's time we start. This really is a ground zero kind of thing, isn't it? Starting at ground zero. The Hanged Man in the immediate future. We are going to have faith. The Hanged Man is it's like we're standing by and watching with very little power to do anything but our own internal work, changing the things in our lives that we have control over. Sometimes it's a change of attitude, sometimes it's a change of job, sometimes it's a change of mind, sometimes it's a change in relationship. You can do what you can do, but what you can't do and what you don't have effect over, you have to accept. At the same time, we need to connect with cosmic consciousness through this process, because that will keep us from going crazy, because we don't feel like we have any control in our lives. But this is a temporary, this is an immediate sort of environment. This is 6 weeks out. So we're looking at like between now to the end of the year. A lot of things are going to happen and a lot of things are going to be let go of, because we're right at the end of this south node in Sagittarius. And then we have a lunar eclipse, and then it changes signs in January. So this eclipse cycle is all about release, all about release. And I can't say I know everything that's going to go, but there's going to be a lot of things that go by way of the dinosaur. And we're going to find ourselves in a new place. How other people see, well, how it's seen from the outside. Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is a scary, scary queen. And not because she's going to hurt you. But what she does is she makes you face, without excuse, the situations in your life. In some cases, the finality of the situations in your life. You would like things to be different, but they're not. And the Queen of Swords will point that out to you. She's not like the Queen of Cups, just going to take you and make tea for you. She might sit you down, tell you that your posture, you need to improve your posture, and then give you advice. Our domestic situation. This I love, the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands. I love this card here. This is the two sides coming together, dare I say, to save the world. Very optimistic. But this is the portal, right? This is the portal. And here we have a portal, right? We can walk through. The earth is balanced upon the choices that we make. Hopes and fears. The Eight of Wands. More illumination. Now, depending on who you are, you might want more illumination, or you may not. The Devil. This one keeps coming up. Keeps coming up for me. The things that we fear, in one sense, as laughable. Because if we were to wake up take this mask off, take this skull with the pentacle, inverted pentacle, and the horns. If we were to just take off the mask and be our magnificent selves, we would just say, what were we thinking? And move in the direction of what makes us happy, what fulfills us, what makes us laugh, what lightens us. Does that sound like the devil to you? Well, the other side of the devil is mirth. The other side of the devil is mirth. When you laugh at the absurdity of a crow wearing a goat skull, or the absurdity of a failed real estate magnet. I would always say that wrong. To be the most powerful person on the planet. Hello. It's absurd. The clown, right? But he becomes the it clown that lives in the sewer there. So he goes from being clown to like the evil clown. Crazy. Absolutely, positively nuts. In order to evolve, you need to let go of those things that you are addicted to. Those things that keep you from your light. It's your choice. The 15-6 is a card associated with Capricorn. Capricorn deals with responsibility. And building things that stand the test of time. In 2020, Saturn made a conjunction to Pluto in Capricorn. And although it brought us COVID, like Saturn-Pluto conjunctions bring us times of when there's usually some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Pandemic. Last time in the 82, it was AIDS. This time it was COVID. They're not going to get together for another, I don't know, long time, it was 38 years the last time. So it could be anywhere from like 36 or 33 to like 40 something. So conjunctions are about starting points, building the structures that last the test of time, that instead of preventing us from connecting with our light, actually helping us get closer to the light. Capricorn is the sign of the Redeemer. It is the birth of the sun god, or the rebirth of the sun god. The rebirth of the light happens when the sun moves into Capricorn in the northern hemisphere, where, as far as I know, most astrology comes from the northern hemisphere. I don't know. Maybe there's an Aboriginal astrology of some sort. But, you know, the Greeks, the Babylonians, the Sumerians, right? All those, the Chaldean, they were all astrologers, right? The Arabs, all astrologers, all in the northern hemisphere. It's your responsibility to do your work. That's what this reading is talking about as it pertains to the 1111 portal and what information is coming through. Okay, let's see. I want to pull some I thought I had my sorry, I'm looking. Oh, here it is. I do. I thought I had that deck. I'm gonna pull from the Illuminated Earth Oracle. Many of you have seen this deck with me before, so and we'll see. This is an Oracle deck. This is a little different. So what does the Illuminated Earth Oracle have to say? This is from, in fact, both of these decks were created by artists that live in Seattle, actually. Crow Tarot, and then this one. The Crow Tarot is MJ Cullinane, I think. Cullinane, I think that's how you say your name. I apologize, MJ, for not saying your name right. And this is from Claire Mack, the Illuminated Earth Oracle by Claire Mack. I think it's clairemack.com. Okay. Just a few more shuffles here. Okay. Epiphany. Doesn't this person look like they have become the portal? See, the thing is, when there's a doorway, when there's a portal, the only way to get through the doorway is to raise your vibration high enough and in alignment with the vibration of the door. And then you move through to another level. But if you can't raise your vibration to the door is closed to you. Not everybody walks through the portal. Mystery. This is the wheels within the wheels that turn, that create the world that we live in, the world that we create with our thoughts. Multiverse. This is an opportunity for us. This 1111 portal is a giant opportunity for us to walk through and become a member of a galactic community, not just a community of reds or blues or East Coast or West Coast or Americans or Japanese. Or back in 2011, at the end of the Mayan calendar, a book written by, oh my goodness, what was his name? Well, the book, those of you who watch me probably know the book I'm talking about. I can't think of his name right now, but he did the Mayan calendar, and one of the things that he said was that the age of being a nationalist is going away. All those, there's different ages, and we're moving into a galactic age. We have moved into a galactic age. Problem is, you know, like when the first time you get somewhere, you don't know where you're going, you get dropped off in a city and they say go to City Hall, but nobody gives you the directions. That's kind of like where we're at. we have to look up to see the signs. We have to look up to see the street, whether it's a one-way or a two-way, or whether there's a light where we have to stop and cross, and, you know, to use the metaphor. So we have to look up. We have to look up. Okay, one more thing I think I want to do for this. And then, do I have time? Maybe I'll do Alexandria. I don't know how long this is going. Let me see if I can see. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell me. I think I will do something on Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, but I'll do it separately from this reading. Let's keep the 1111 reading just with that. I want to do one more card. I'm going to pull one more card, and that is this is from the Crystal Ally cards. Because the energy of the 1111 portal is really so otherworldly in ways, I think this is a good deck to be pulling from. Hematite. Manifesting light. Manifesting light. Hematite is an earth element stone, and it is about grounding. And it's about bringing the light that comes from higher realms onto the planet, grounding it into the planet, and creating from that. The most important thing that we can do at this time is to focus on that which brings our heart joy. Create from that place, whatever that is for you. Create from that place. Wind, wind. It's an elemental card. There's no crystal, but all the crystals connected to wind you can use, right? The element of wind. Wind is about listening. Wind is about speaking. Wind is about thinking. With your voice, you co-create with spirit. If you keep your ears open to the promptings of spirit, listening to for that small, still voice within, and really listening, and having, if you're going to have a conversation, having a conversation with that to figure out or to say the things that need to be said in the way they need to be said. We struggle, right? When people tell us that we can't do something. We struggle when people tell us that we can't say something. We have freedom of speech. You should be able to say what you want to say, right? And a lot of things that are said, I have freedom to say it. And yet, if what you say is part of your creative process, look to see what you're creating. What are you saying? Because that's what you're creating. That's what you're putting your breath into. Spinel, hope. I believe this is a water card. Hope. We need to keep a positive frame of mind, a hopeful heart as we move through some very challenging times. We need to manifest our light on the planet. We need to watch our words. Instead of authority coming from the outside and saying, you can't do this, you can't do that, you must do this, you must do that. We need to move to a place where we come from within us, where we become our own authority. But you also have to understand what you know and what you don't know. And some people know more about some things than others. It's not all your opinion. It's not all because you only have a certain perspective on things. We will succeed by our own efforts, by our own ability to align ourselves with these higher vibrational energies, which are lighter, less dense, less attached. It's about living in the moment instead of worrying about the future, but with an eye to the future. Like, you have to understand that what you do in this moment creates the next moment and the next moment and the next moment. And if you want change, but you keep doing the same thing over and over again, there's no change is going to come. And then who do you blame? Do you blame the government? Do you blame Trump? Do you blame, you know, these crazy squad ladies? It all starts here. It really does. I hope that this was helpful. I don't know. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it, and I definitely see, um, we are responsible for ourselves. We do have to put our big girl and big boy pants on, right? This is a Capricorn card. Pluto is in Capricorn. On the tree of life, it's on the path between our mental, our mind, and our heart. And we need to foster a loving heart, a loving mind, and enlightened heart. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Like, subscribe. I'll put the cards I use down in the descriptor if you want. And have yourself a great day. Much love to you all. Truly, truly, namaste.